Setting business targets is a natural thing to do. Setting business targets is part and parcel of business life, and it's part and parcel of us achieving our end goals. So the key thing is, folks, for me, is how do we actually go about achieving those business targets? And in this video, I'm going to outline to you the things you need to do to help you achieve the business targets you set yourself. That will bring you joy as opposed to glumness. Now, the first thing is to embrace the positive aspect of what a business target represents. A business target represents us looking through the windscreen of our business and saying that's what we want to achieve. In the context of finances, perhaps, your business target could be about a level of profitability. And I'm going to use that as an example to illustrate what I'm talking about. So embrace the fact that targets are actually positive. They're not straitjackets. They're not things that we should look at with glumness or depression or sadness. Embrace the positivity. It gives us a marker, a line in the sand that we're aiming towards, that will take our business forward, that will progress what we want to achieve, and will give us the business life that we aspire to. The next thing is make sure you've actually got proper targets in your business. Now, a target is not just a wishy-washy, I wish to be richer, I wish to be more prosperous. That's not a target, that's an aspiration, and that in itself is meaningless. So make sure you've actually got targets in your business. Targets could be about achieving levels of profitability, about achieving a certain market share. It could be about having more cash in the bank. It could be increasing the level of customer satisfaction. So make sure you have got targets in your business, and more particularly, make sure they're what are called SMART targets. The next thing we need to consider, apart from embracing the positive nature, the positive aspect that goes with targets, actually having SMART targets in our business, is to make sure those targets are what are called acceptable and realistic. Now, what do I mean by this? If, for example, achieving a certain level of gross profit is a target you're going to set yourself, then you must make sure that it's not completely bonkers and ridiculous, the level that you set for your target. So if you're currently generating a gross profit of £50,000 and you say, I'm going to achieve a gross profit next year of £500,000, well, you need to think carefully about what is it you're going to do to achieve that £500,000. If it's merely playing around with a spreadsheet, just plucking numbers out there, it's not going to happen. So make sure that is a realistic number that you're aiming for. And realism is in the context of what is it you're going to do to get towards that end goal, that end target. What do you have by way of capacity? What do you have by the way of what you're going to invest in your business to actually achieve that? What are the steps you're actually going to take to get to that particular target you set yourself? Now, another aspect about the whole idea of targets is you've got to embrace that positively. There will be times that you'll slip. You won't actually make the progress that you desire. You'll have knockbacks, you'll have setbacks. It's part and parcel of business life that we have setbacks. It's part and parcel of business life that we don't achieve what we set out to achieve. That could actually be a blessing, that could be a good thing. If we think about the invention of the light bulb, there were about 10,000 iterations, 10,000, not so much failures, but learning steps that went through before the light bulb became a reality. So having the idea of setbacks, look at that positively as a learning opportunity to find out why something didn't quite happen, and then we can learn from that. Now, having identified our targets, then the next thing I would do is to roll back and break that down into mini milestones. So if I'm going to achieve for my target a gross profit of say £100,000, I want to break that down to what that looks like on what is it I'm going to do to achieve that level of gross profit? So am I going to make improvements in costs? Am I going to make things more efficient? Am I going to buy smarter? Am I going to cut down the wastage? What is it I'm actually going to do to achieve that level of profit? What are my activities? And don't just look at it in general terms, be more specific. Now break that down into what I call mini milestones. So if your gross profit target has been set for 12 months ahead, break it down to what that looks like on a month-by-month basis. Where I start today, what do I want that improvement to be on a month-by-month basis. I might be moving for, say, 50,000, and in the following month, it might be 55,000. It might then go to 60, and that's going to be predicated based on what else is going on around. Set those mini milestones. Don't look at just the end point, look at the micro steps you're going to be making along that journey. Having identified what those micro steps are, we're going for those small wins that reinforce that what we're doing is the right thing to be doing. So having established what those micro steps look like, having established what those month by month targets will look like, breaking down the big picture into the more discrete steps here. If we get to the end of that month and we review what we've actually achieved against where we thought we might be, if we've managed to hit bang on, fantastic. If we've managed to go over, there could be something wrong with the targets we're setting ourselves, but it's still a case for celebration. If we've not managed to achieve that, remember, embrace that as a learning exercise, embrace that as something we can learn from and understand and put it right going forward. What you've also got to do is you've got to reward yourself for when you do make those achievements. We are, as human beings, we are more into instant gratification. The big picture stuff that seems far away, we're very bad at doing. So whatever it is that you have to do to get those successes, make sure you do them in small bite-sized pieces and reward yourself as you progress. That could be a few minutes R&R. It could be going off to enjoy your meal at a favorite restaurant. But whatever it is you do, make sure you reward yourself for your successes and don't berate yourself and be too hard when you don't actually quite get to where you are. For me, in essence, summarizing this, achieving targets is about making sure you've got targets in the first place, making sure those targets are smart and acceptable to you. Make sure you've understood the activities that you need to invest in, that you need to do to achieve that target you've set yourself. Make sure you embrace it positively. Do not go into there with dread. Do not go into it with a negative feeling here. Look at them as milestones and steps that you're making to achieve your end objective, your Northern Star. Achieving targets which are right for you and your business, not somebody else's, will help you achieve and realize your destination point. And above all, folks, learn, have fun. Hope you found this video useful. I'd love it if you could share it with those who you feel might get some benefit from that. What would you add? What would you share, folks? What would you do to add to help achieve your targets? Until next time, I'll see you on the other side.